step into my office. Let's talk some more about the cares of this life. We're speaking this week on I don't care anymore. Why? Because you have to cast your care on the Lord. Now, today, the cares of this world. In the parable of the sower and the seed in Matthew 13 and verse 22, Jesus said that the thorns, and he called them the care of the world, choke out the seed. And in Mark 4 and verse 19, he uses the plural, cares of this world. That's things like hobbies and TV shows and sports and your schedule, meetings and more meetings, and you can get your schedule so packed that you can't even breathe. Somebody said you can sum up modern day America in 3 words: hurry, worry, and bury. And there are people being buried alive because they have too many cares. So let's look at some things. Number one, it's okay to use the world as long as the world doesn't start using you. In 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 31, Paul said, they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passes away. Everything that you get so worried about down here in this world is soon to vanish. Focus on the right things. And the next verse, he said, I would have you without carefulness. In other words, Paul's saying, I don't want my church people tangled up and bogged down with the cares of this world. It can be how many Facebook friends you have, how many likes you got. You know, my friend Ronnie Webb said, get your face off Facebook, get your face in the book. Well, I'm not telling you to leave Facebook because I need you to watch my programs, but you get my drift. You know, you can have too much of a good thing and it becomes a bad thing. TV's good, golf's good, a lot of things can be good things, but when it becomes the cares of this world, it draws you away from Christ. Number 2, you've heard of fatal attraction. There's also a thing called fatal distraction. The Greek word for care is merimna, and it means to be distracted. Listen to 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 34. She that is married cares, talking about the cares of this world, cares for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. And Paul said, I want you to attend upon the Lord without distraction. So I get it. Your husband only has weekends off. He wants to boat. He wants you to go fishing with him, go skiing with him, and you don't have any time to make a commitment to God. You're out of focus. You're distracted. And I think of the guy in the parable who said, I just bought 5 oxen. I must go prove them. I pray they have me excused. Well, he was thinking about his business instead of the important business, and that's the banquet that he had been invited to. So, number 3, worldly care chokes out the seed of the word. It may be that there's no fruit on your branches because there's no free space in your head. You're too involved. You're too sidetracked. Listen to this. Mark 4 and verse 19. The cares of this world, the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in choke the word, and it becomes unfruitful. And when we talk about being choked, we're thinking of suffocation. People get suffocated. Listen, if prayer is the soul's vital breath, then cares of this world rob you of your intimacy, and they rob you of your time with God. Number 4, if you have your hands in too much business, you lose sight of the business at hand. Run that by you again. Now, Jesus said, even as a small boy, I must be about my Father's business. It's not that business is wrong, but you can get sidetracked with the wrong kind of business. Now, Luke chapter 17, verse 28, that's what happened in the days of Lot. They ate, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded, too much business. And Lot's wife, halfway to victory, turned around and looked back at the cares of this world and froze on the spot. While Sodom became a pile of soot, she became a pillar of salt, and the salt lost her savor, and she was never the same again. Let me close with this. You're in the army now. Let me say it again. You're in the army now. 2 Timothy 2 and verse 4, no man that warreth entangles himself with the affairs of this life. Listen, if you're a soldier, you know your mission, you know who you're accountable to, you've got the blinders on, and you don't allow yourself to get distracted by worldly cares. You know, he said entangled. It's like, I don't like tangled hair. I don't like a tangled fishing line. Oh, the tangled web we weave when at first we practice to deceive. And you know, the grasshopper gets tangled up in the spider's web, and then the spider moves in for the kill. Let me tell you this in closing. You get too many cares of this life, you can prepare that it's going to come back to bite you. Kris here. Hope you're enjoying this new series. Like if you like, share it with a friend, and we'll see you tomorrow with more on Through the Prism of Chrism.